Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain the next theorem which is very important, that countable collection for countable collection M star satisfy the countable subadditive property. Now what is this subadditive property? So let En it be a sequence of let's be a countable collection of sets then the outer measure of the union of all these Ens will be less than equal to the outer measure of the summation of these Ens. So outer measure satisfying the countable subadditive property. Subadditive means the outer measure of the union is less than equal to the summation of outer measure of En. So now just see the proof. If the outer measure of any set En is infinity, then the above inequality holds trivially. Now why it holds trivially? Now just see, if the outer measure of any set En is infinite, then in the summation in the right hand side you already have infinity sum plus some numbers which gives you infinity in the right hand side. Similarly in the left hand side, if your a set En is having the outer measure infinity, and if you take the union of all other with the En, then this will become the bigger set. This union will become the bigger set and its outer measure is also infinity. So your left hand side is same as that right hand side. So this holds trivially whenever the outer measure of any set is infinite. So we assume that, let us assume that the outer measure of En is finite for each n. Then by definition of outer measure, then for a given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a countable collection In of open intervals such that En is a subset of union of Ini, satisfying the summation of length of Ini is less than outer measure of En plus 2 to the power minus n epsilon, right? So by the definition of outer measure, we know that for any set En, there exist the open intervals, right, such that En is contained in the union of that open intervals, right? So for En, we consider this collection In1 union In2 union In3 and so on. So this is a collection of open intervals which covers the set En, and since outer measure represent the infimum of the summation of length of In, so if it is infimum, if we add some epsilon to it, now it will not be the infimum one, so there exists some length of measures which will be less than the outer measure of En plus epsilon, right? Since we know that in case of infimum, if you add some small number to it, it's not infimum now. There exist some numbers which are less than this number. So that is this thing. And in precisely, we choose this epsilon to be 2 to the power minus n times epsilon. So what we have, the union of En with respect to n, this will be contained in, from here, it will be contained in the union of n to union of Ini, right? So further we know that countable union of open intervals is again countable. Since we know that countable sets union of countable set is countable, so this is again a countable collection, right, which covers the set union of En, right? So write down, since countable union of countable set is countable, so therefore the collection I n I with respect to n as well as I, it forms a countable collection of open intervals which covers union of En. So therefore the outer measure of union of En, it will be less than equal to the outer measure of union of I n I. This is just by this previous, since this is a subset of this, therefore the outer measure of this should be less than equal to the outer measure of this, right? Now further, outer measure will be less than equal to, by the definition, it will be less than equal to the summation of the length of I and I by definition of outer measure, right? And we can use the inequality for this inequality, call this as 1. So using 1, we know that the outer measure of length of I and I, it will be less than the outer measure of En plus 2 to the power minus n epsilon. Here it should be I because we are taking first with respect to I. So what we have, this should be less than summation of n, the outer measure of En plus this thing, plus 2 to the power minus n into epsilon. Now this will become the outer measure of En plus epsilon into the outer measure of this summation over 1 over 2n. This is the GP series with common ratio half, and it is convergent because common ratio is strictly less than 1, and we know that by GP series test this series is converging to a upon 1 minus r, where a is the first term and r is the common ratio. So what will be the value of sum of this 1 over 2 to the power n series? It will be converging to a upon 1 minus r. The first term is half, the common ratio is half, so we get this is 1. So the sum of this series is 1, so we can replace with 1. So what we have, we get the outer measure of the union of En is less than the outer measure of En with summation n varying from 1 to infinity plus epsilon. And now since this strict inequality hold for every epsilon, since epsilon is arbitrary, so therefore the outer measure of union of En is less than equals to the summation outer measure of En. And this thing we want to show that whenever we have a countable collection of sets, the outer measure of the union is less than equal to summation of outer measure of En. Means it satisfies countable subadditive property. So with this the result hold. We can use this result in the proof of let's suppose E is a countable set. Then we want to show that the outer measure of E is 0, right? So we can use the above result in the proof of this, since we know that whenever a set is countable, it can be written as a sequence. So it is a union of singletons, right? So by using above, the outer measure of E is equal to the outer measure of the union of ai, and which will be less than equal to the summation of outer measure of singleton ai. And since the outer measure of singleton is 0, so this will become 0 plus 0 plus 0 and so on, which is 0. So whenever E is countable set, its measure is 0. Now the next is to show this set is uncountable. Now why this set is uncountable? We can prove it by contradiction. Let if possible this set is countable. Now if it is countable, then by using the above result, whenever we have a set which is countable, then its measure is 0. So we can use this result, and what we get, the measure of close interval 0 1 should be 0. However, we have proved this result that outer measure of an interval is its length. So this implies the outer measure of close interval 0 1 should be equal to the length of the interval 0 1, and which is 1. So these two things are not possible. So we get contradiction. So therefore close interval 0 1, this is uncountable. Our position is wrong. So from here we get a result. That result says that any set with outer measure different from 0 is uncountable. So we can use the above theorems in the proof of this. We can prove it by contradiction. We consider a set E whose outer measure is different from 0. Right? So we want to prove that this is uncountable. Let if possible it is countable. If it is countable, then by using this result its measure should be 0. But what is given to us, that the measure is non-zero. So we get contradiction. So means any set with outer measure different from 0 is always uncountable. However, the converse need not be true. Now what this converse says that there exists an uncountable set with measure 0. Means if we are having any uncountable set, it does not imply that its measure is always non-zero. This is the converse of this statement, right? So any set which is uncountable need not be having the outer measure different from 0. So that means the converse need not be true. So there exists an uncountable set with measure 0, and that set is the Cantor set. Now how to define this Cantor set? First of all, we consider the closed interval 0 1. Call this set as C0. Now you remove middle third from closed interval 0 1. Then we will have two intervals. One is 0 to 1 by 3 closed interval, and other is 2 by 3 to 1. So this C1 is the union of 0 to 1 by 3 and 2 by 3 to 1. Means it's a set which will we get after removing 1 by third, middle 1 by third from the closed interval 0 1. Same way we can obtain the set C2 after removing 1 by third, middle 1 by third from this interval as well as from this interval. So basically what we have now, we have 0 to 1 by 9, 2 by 9 to 1 by 3, then 6 by 9 to 7 by 9, and 8 by 9 to 1. So this is our C2. So C2 will be the union of all these. Again, after removing middle third from each closed interval, we will get the closed interval C3. So what will be C3? After removing the middle third, we get 0 to 1 by 27, union 2 by 27 to 3 by 27, union 6 by 27 to 7 by 27, union 8 by 27 to 9 by 27, union 18 by 27 to 19 by 27, union 20 by 27 to 21 by 27, union 24 by 27 to 25 by 27, union 26 by 27 to 27 by 27. So this is our C3, and so on. So this is the sets, closed sets, where C0 is 0, 1, C1 after removing middle one third from this interval, similarly C2 after removing middle third one third from this, and so on. What is the Cantor set? Cantor set is the intersection of all these Cn's where n is varying from 1 to infinity. So Cantor set is a collection of, it's an intersection of all these Cn's, where these Cn's are closed intervals, where this collection is non-empty. Why it is non-empty? Because 0, 1, this endpoint always belongs to C. So this is non-empty. This is bounded because it lying between 0 and 1. This is closed because each is the closed interval. So this is non-empty, this is bounded, this is closed, but this is uncountable. Why this is uncountable? Because we cannot write down this set as a sequence. We don't know what will be the next number after 0. So this set is uncountable. Now we need to find out the outer measure of C. What will be the outer measure of C? It's not just C. Outer measure of C we can find out in the terms of its complement. Right? What will be the complement of C1? C1 complement, call this as E1. It will be in open interval 1 by 3 to 2 by 3. Similarly, C2 complement, call this as E2. This will be in the union of open interval 1 by 9 to 2 by 9 and 7 by 9 to 8 by 9. Similarly, you can find the complement of C3, call this as E3. This will be 1 by 27 to 2 by 27 union 7 by 27 to 8 by 27 union 1 by 27 to 2 by 27, then 7 by 27 to 8 by 27, then 19 by 27 to 20 by 27 union 25 by 27 to 26 by 27. So and so on. These are the complements of this set Ci's. Now what will be the length of this E1? The length of E1 is 1 by 3. The length of E2, this comes out to be 1 by 9 plus 1 by 9. That will be 2 by 9. The length of E3, that comes out to be 1 by 27 plus 1 by 27 plus 1 by 27 plus 1 by 27. So that comes out to be 4 by 27. So that can be written as 1 by 3, 2 square, 3 square. This can be written as 1 by 3, 2 by 3. And this is 1 by 3. Right? So now just see what will be the measure of Cantor set. The outer measure of the Cantor set C, this is the outer measure of closed interval 0, 1 minus the outer measure of union of ENs, where this is the complement. Right? Now the outer measure of 0, 1 is 1. It is the length of this interval minus the outer measure of union of ENs. They are disjoint, so we can write down as a summation. This will become the outer measure of EN. And since we know that if ENs are intervals, then the outer measure will become its length. So this is length of EN. Now we can substitute the value of length of E1 plus length of E2, length of E3. So we have 1 by 3, then 1 by 3 into 2 by 3, then 1 by 3 into 2 square by 3 square, and so on. We can take 1 by 3 to be common, and we left with a GP series with common ratio 2 by 3, which is strictly less than 1. So this GP series is convergent and it converges to A upon 1 minus R. Here the value of A is 1 and R is 2 by 3. So when we simplify this, we will have it's 1 by 3. Sorry, it's 3. Right? So we can substitute the value of this sum of this series. So we get 1 minus 1 by 3 into 3. So this, which is 0. So the outer measure of Cantor set is 0. However, it is an uncountable set. So there exists an uncountable set with outer measure 0, and that is Cantor set. So this implies that if any set is having outer measure 0, we can't say whether the set is countable or uncountable. But if the outer measure of any set is non-zero, then 100% that set is uncountable. Right? Because if the set is countable, its outer measure is always 0.